Hi guys, quick update here for YouTube. It's the 14th of August. It's about 7 a.m. Eastern time here. Hope everyone's doing great. If you would like to know more, come and join the group. We've got the full version of the masterclass and the mini version. We're doing a one-off discount code here where if you buy the full version, you'll get 3 months free access to the group. So pretty good value for money going into the GTA season. Historically, Bitcoin has been very bullish in Q4, so we're setting that up. But you have to buy the full version of the masterclass. You get 3 months free access to the group. So best to take advantage of that while you still can. And we do also have a mortgage amortization course. I've been meaning to get the part 2 out. 95% of it's done, so hopefully before the end of the calendar year. And like I said, there's a mini version too. And if you just want to join the Facebook group itself, it's everything is here and it's cheaper over 3 months. And if you want to pay via crypto, just click on the more here. Click on follow us here, and then you can join the Facebook page, the official Facebook page. Just message me through there. You can use a fake account if you like. That's completely fine. Everything's released on Teachables now anyway. And what I do here, it's twice a week, usually around 9 a.m. Eastern time, or a lot of time prior to that, frankly, and I just regularly delete some of the previous videos just so that they don't get leaked. So that's why you can only see 6 here, 5 here, but rest assured it's released on the Facebook group as well as on Teachable. So if you don't, if you're not a fan of Facebook for whatever reason, you don't want to make a fake account, you can always just join through Teachables like everyone else and just watch the videos on there, and then just use Facebook for the messaging and for the quick updates that we often do on there. So those are some of the courses and some of the things that we offer there. Now you can see here making a killing there, $2 a week. Yeah, Benjamin Buttons there too. Now if you want to know more about sort of what we do, some of the videos that we've made some of the greatest calls here in the history of mankind. Certainly no one else has been as accurate as myself over the last 8 years. We've got educational courses here too, and obviously we've got we've got great, we're talking here Uber 64 gold crash. We're going all the way back here to, one of the first videos that I ever did was 8.5 years ago, Dow to 40k, and obviously the Dow's right now is at 50k, isn't it? So let's just quickly update those channel stats, make sure there's nothing we're moving here. So like I said, if you want to know more, just come and join the group. Otherwise, you kind of waste your time with a lot of these other YouTubers. Now, let's start off with SpaceX. So this is one which we've been eyeing very, very closely here for this overnight squeeze, which basically we got down here. So here we got out here. That's a secure top. We said 145, then the IPO price, then 116. So effectively, it went right there, and we got the huge move. So now we're pretty much out of their position. Obviously, if you're listening to other YouTubers, you're gonna have missed this entire move. Fundamentally, it should be worth 70, but this market was highly susceptible to a squeeze. Now, what does it do from here? So, number one, if you've not been in the group, you just missed out on a 40% move in 4 days. But apart from that, I'm not expecting this. The reason this was always going to happen was because the Anthropic IPO, and he's the most powerful man in the world other than Trump, certainly on paper, and so because of that, he was never going to let this fail. Now you're approaching the VPOG. That's the average. Well, it's not the average. It's the mode of the volume. So most amount of volume has been conducted there. So I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes up towards 159. You've got the value area at 180. So effectively, we're going to be in a range here between the value area low on the low side around 120 and 180 on the upside. The big directional trade has gone. Volume has now gone down. So I don't think there's anything much to do for ourselves in the group because we like to take advantage of the opportunity. And obviously, most of that opportunity now is gone. I think if you get along here, it's a bit risky because you're kind of buying in no man's land. Yes, it can push up towards here, but it could easily retrace back to that value area low before it reaches. So you're kind of buying in the middle of no man's land. Your targets are there, but it's risky because you don't know where to put your stop. Here, it was a different story altogether. And as I mentioned on the last YouTube video, we've kind of hit a lot of the interim targets anyway. I forget the exact targets because all the alerts have kind of gone off. I mean, 135 was the IPO price. We tagged that, and then it's come all the way to tag the open. So, these are very important references. I think from an educational perspective, and we've been covering this every single day since it IPO 2 months ago, this is an incredible stock because it highlights everything that we teach. Literally everything is there. There's Elliott wave in there, there's volume spread analysis in there, and there's also auction market theory in here, the volume profile, how the market really works. Very, very important for people to understand the auction process that goes on. Time, volume, and price. Only 3 variables here. Once you get your head around that, you can easily forecast these moves. But anyway, from right now, the volatility's kind of died off here. I'm expecting range bound between now and effectively Christmas. So between now and the end of the year, 120, I think 158 for the VPOC, but I doubt it does something like that. I don't think that's possible. Market cap wise, with all of these, soon to be share unlocks, eventually that's going to have a dilutional impact. Yeah. So that is SpaceX, a great move there for the group. Now, SPY. So do I think it's topped right here, right now? No. ES still going to make a new high here. So these are not real highs that the ES has formed. Let me just have a look here. In fact, it says taken out the high, just as we suspected. Those who have taken the Masterclass, that's a dodgy candle. Why is it a dodgy candle? Well, we discuss dodgy candles. I believe it's on this one here. These are very, very important modules here. I don't ever discuss this on YouTube because it's unfair to paying members of the Masterclass. These special patterns, you can't make it out because I've purposely kept it vague. If I wrote volume spread analysis and the exact patterns and I listed all of them, people would know exactly what I'm talking about. So there's no need to pay for cumulative delta bars, market profile. I literally explain all of that on the charts. These are very, very important. 1, 2, 3 here, and 4, 5, and then this one as well. These are very important special patterns that you must know about. We knew that candle was dodgy. I can't explain to you why it's dodgy, but trust me, it's dodgy. And then I mean, there's just so much here. Where's the overnight highs, overnight lows that we discussed with the futures? Where's the futures concept? See, I mean, there's just so many. I mean, it's 48 laws of power. I mean, I can't take one module and say that's the most important. Every single module is most important, but those last 8 are very, very important. You do not have to trade futures all day, every day to make money here. You don't have to make an account with IG Index. You don't have to gamble. You don't have to guess. You don't have to listen to Sarah Eisen's mum all day long. You have to understand how markets move. It's quite incredible. The more money someone has, the more intelligence someone has, the more time someone has, the least they, the least they know, if that even makes good English there, about the stock market. They know absolutely nothing. This is not everyone's equal here. It doesn't matter how much money you have, what your background, what your network is. It doesn't matter. You shove 10k into here at this high, you're broke. You shove 10k into here like what we did, if not a hell of a lot more, you're now at 40%. You've outperformed the S&P in 6 days, what the S&P has taken, I would guess, 2.5 years to do 35%. Okay? It's another level because you're on another level of understanding. Okay? These are very, very, these are edited down videos. One module should take someone about a week, frankly. Because you need to apply the knowledge and then look for those patterns. It's absolutely phenomenal what I've created there. Absolutely phenomenal. And it's a real shame that people don't take advantage of what's out there. And right now, it's a great discount code. I mean, you're pretty much getting 3 months, 3 months free access. So in effect, it's almost a 40% discount offer off the full version of the Masterclass. The education is there. All the information's out there. Like what Wyckoff once said. All the information for you to ever navigate through the stock market, other than my own masterclass, everything's there in front of you. It's straightforward. Once you understand the patterns, once you understand the tricks, it's very, very simple. But unfortunately, every day a sucker is born, and that is the unfortunate truth of reality. Very, very unfortunate truth of reality. Right, so let's carry on then. So the ES, I mean, what's it done here? It's formed a bit of a dodge high there in the RTH. So I'll have to just investigate that high. 1 second. Let me just quickly investigate the high, see what's going on here. So make sure we're on the right time zone here. Yeah, we're on Lima zone here. So sorry, let me pull up on the ES. We need the actual futures price here. So it's taken out that dodge high. Now it's formed an RTH high. So yes, we do have an RTH high going on here. So that is the most significant high technically ever that we've formed. I'm not saying it's top there, but that is an RTH high. That is the most secure high I've seen ever in my life on the ES. I'm not saying it's topped, but compared to all the previous highs we've had here the last 9 months, the last technically 250 years, that is the most secure high I've ever seen on the ES, but it's still not topped yet. You can't just go over the fact that it formed the New York session. There has to be more context to it, okay? Right now, S&P still higher. My target, mathematically, it can't get above 850. I think 8,000's nailed on. I'm going for the halfway house, 825, at some point between now and the end of the year. I can't tell you the exact date, and then basically the S&P is going to really struggle out there. So that's the S&P. Let's keep it moving. So obviously Nvidia, we made the greatest call in human history. The videos are always delayed here. This is a top 50 call of all time. Sorry, top 10 call of all time. I forget where it is now with the Nvidia. It's all here. We've kind of nailed that AMD call. So that was 2.5 years ago, world's most valuable company, which it hit now 5 times. It's now if effectively become the world's most valuable company 5 times, and I think there's one more time. Obviously, we were buying in here, sold in here. We're not interested in this kind of nonsense here the last couple of years, because we're not here to waste our time. We need good directional movement and get the hell out there. Just holding it for 2.5 years, effectively at 40%. That's not investing. SpaceX has done that in space of 6 days. So we are aggressive swing traders here. Buy low, sell high, get the hell out of there. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Now, where's it going to go from here? I still think there's one more high here. We've got 260 there as a target, and to me it's going into a bit of an ending diagonal. Obviously the volume's kind of dying off here. It's kind of going into an ending diagonal. So I think on a new high, the max target I have, what did I write there? Where's the 6 trillion market cap? Oops. Yeah, so that's the 6.6. Obviously, we're way past that. That was supposed to be by Jan 27. That's a bit of a typo there. These are very old charts. These are over 2.5 years ago charts. So to me, that makes a new high, and a lot of people will be looking for the short. On any new high, Nvidia, one should be looking for the short. But to me, there's, it was written but never told here on Nvidia, and the story will eventually get told. To me, this becomes the world's first $6 trillion market cap company. It's very close. I believe it's around 245, but I think it's going for the magical number up there. And then I think there's huge problems here for the stock market and therefore the world as that happens. We were in here multiple times over the last couple of years. Recently got in here, got out here. We don't waste our life. Looking awfully dodgy there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a token gesture there for AMD, but it's all about Nvidia, and it has all been about Nvidia the last 2.5, 3, 4 years there. Yeah, okay. But you have to know how to invest. Buying something going sideways, that's not investing. Meta, we can have a quick look at these. These don't really excite me. They're all kind of, forming major tops there. So these don't, there's nothing much to really say or do here. They've all effectively topped, just pissing around. Apple, fine, going into the iPhone release, bit of sympathetic move there. But these are very elevated kind of stocks. I don't see there's any need to really engage here at all. So let's now take a look at our favorite market. It's crypto, so let's pull it up on the futures there. So we just pull it up on the futures. So for those who don't know, futures are the actual volume here. So obviously we've already called a top here. So we've been out since October, October 25. There's a lot of people looking for this, some kind of, ending diagonal. Don't know what they're smoking, but we need to get a name of their dealers there. Probably Plan B, who's drowning his sorrows at the red light district. Obviously you've got a head and shoulders there. Jackie Chan's taught us how to work out the targets there. That's 27k, and then Benjamin Button, the curious case of Benjamin Button there. You just do that, mirror that bad boy right there. That also gets you to the stage. So whether you follow Benjamin Button or Jackie Chan, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The most important thing for you to realize is that I was right. We've been out since October. Anyone who's holding this asset really has got some issues there with their investing strategies, and they probably don't have a clue. And it's dishonorable if you've just buried your favorite baby boomer and they've sent 50k down the probate line for you to have gone longer at a 100k. Why have you done that? How are you ever going to get a return on that investment? And that's the thing. Markets only move when people are trapped and because of fear and greed, and people are forced to do things. So if you've taken 50k off your granddad's money and you bought Bitcoin in October 25 when I was saying to go short and to effectively offload, obviously you're down, you've turned that into 25k, but you're young. You're 25k, that's fine. At some point, you'll be forced to sell. Clearly, Bitcoin hasn't gone low enough. Clearly. Because I have not seen any blood, any panic. You buy when there's blood on the street, even if it's your own. So there's just too many heroes out there. The amount of people commenting on YouTube has to be exactly 0 for this to bottom. We're nowhere near a low. And it's laughable that people are looking at a low. This is one of the most awful charts I've ever seen in my life. In my entire life and investing life, this is absolutely disgusting. All I can say bullishly is that for a huge breakdown, it would often take out the high from the previous month, swing fail, shakeout pattern, bomb. But if it doesn't, and it's just so weak, I mean, there's nothing to support a Bitcoin investment at this particular price. Now, once this collapse, this inevitable collapse takes place, obviously a different story. That's why it's a great discount code here that we're running up until the end of August, the 31st of August. You buy the full version of the Masterclass, 3 months free access. Historically, Bitcoin has been a great performer in Q4. That's exactly what we're setting up for. GTA season, November the 19th. Every single man in the known universe is going to be sat at home for 2 weeks playing GTA, and likely there'll be some kind of crypto buying facility in there. And then boom, we've got the rally. So we're setting up a GTA season buy here for Bitcoin, but why would you want to buy at 63? It doesn't make any sense. There's still people trapped in here. There's obviously people trapped in there. I've never in the history of mankind seen this many head and shoulders. There's one here, and there's a bigger one here. And there's probably an even bigger one here somewhere, right? You got McDonald's head and shoulders all over the place, right? Red Line number 40. So it's inevitable this has to go lower. I mean, what can I say to you that's actually bullish? I mean, let me just draw a trend line here. So that's one trend line from the low. This trend line's already been taken out. And obviously, the connecting here to here, that's already been taken out. So you've got this trend line just connecting the low. So let's just connect the low. So you swing out, go to the first touch, and then you can press extend line. That's the right way to draw a trend line. So one is the swing out method, one is the first touch method. I mean, you know, who wants to doubt it will eventually hit that line? Let's just say it goes vertical. That's that's 20k by October. Let's just say kind of, chills out a little bit. Let's say by Easter. So April, let's say 27, right? Fine. Obviously, we're not saying that's where we're going to buy. There's going to be interim targets between 60 and let's say 22. There are obviously interim targets where we will get a strong oversold bounce. But there's nothing about this market which is bullish. We made the right call to get out of this market. It's halved once, it's going to halve again. And it's probably going to halve again after that. There are multiple halvenings going on here. Right, what else can we cover? Altcoins. Right, let's cover one which often gets commentated on YouTube. So here we're looking for the magical number. So the magical number is going to be 0.66, give or take. Obviously, you got a lot of block action going on there, lots of highs. I mean, it could pivot off 0.7, 0.74. So yeah, I'd say that's fairly reasonable. I think you can look in the mirror, and you probably won't see a gimp if you buy between those two numbers. I think I can look at that. I think you can look your partner in the eyes and say, look, I'm not a clown. So most people, unfortunately, have been looking like clowns since holding XRP. Once again, people have no respect for money, clearly. The fact that it's come through a 50k probate, it doesn't matter. It's still your money. It's what's owed to you. So why did you go long XRP with 50 grand at 2.8 just to sell to me at 0.66? I don't want you to lose money. I'm here to help you. Because, unfortunately, 99.9% of the known universe don't watch my YouTube videos. So if I can at least help a couple of thousand people, then I'm happy with that. Because if I help those 1,000 people release from the matrix, it won't change anything. I'll have to help billions of people for the stock market to ever change. But at least I can help the people listening to this. Why did you buy at 2.8 just to sell to me at the magical number? Fine, people might front run the magical number. You can buy at 0.8, but it's too obvious to buy at 1. That's the obvious buy. The obvious buy is buying now. Shows complete lack of respect for auction market theory, volume profile. I mean, look at the state of that profile there. Just look at the state of it, right? We can ask Google about this page. How's that? Let's ask ChatGPT, right? I know everyone's using this, every Gen X or the TikTok gen, right? Okay, is XRP a good buy at 1.0036? And if it isn't, at what dollar price would you buy? Right. Let's see what your favorite ChatGPT is saying. Go on, let's hear it.
Checking.
Right, it's checking.
All right.
Here we go.
If you're looking at XRP at 1.0036, that's
Right.
not bad, but it's kind of fair value. If I were buying and holding long term, I'd be pretty happy scooping below 0.95. Around $1 is fine. Above 1.15, and I'd pause. But I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd layer it in and buy some now and save some in case it dips more later.
Right, so is there any possibility it could hit 0.77 before the end of the calendar year?
Checking that. Yeah, it's possible, but not the highest probability. That kind of drop could happen if there's a broad crypto pullback, but don't bank
Right,
on that.
so how likely is a broad crypto pullback? How likely is that? Give me a percentage probability of Bitcoin having a quote-unquote broad pullback over the next, let's say, couple of weeks, couple of months, let's say.
Checking that. All right, I'm going to be straight. No one can give a correct percentage on that. If I had to put a rough guess on it, maybe 30 to 40% chance of a 10%
Right,
pullback
okay
in the
then,
next
okay
few
then, shut up
months.
now, no more. What do you make of the Financial Freedom Bitcoin channel, who has literally forecast everything perfectly for the last 8 years? What are your thoughts? Financial Freedom 007, that's the YouTube handle. Give me your thoughts.
Checking. So I would be cautious. Evidence. Yeah. A perfect.
Oh man, no more words.